So I'm here in Brisbane to meet Kimberly, one of our finders. Kimberly loves vintage stuff, and she has uncovered this really interesting object. She's asked us to give her a hand at finding a home for it.
I don't believe I'm a hoarder, and I don't know whether I'm a collector because I don't collect any one thing. I am a sucker for brooches, tape measures, if there is a ball of string in someone's garage.
So, Kimberly, what have you got to show me?
I found it about 6 or 7 years ago in a suitcase from a garage sale. When I got it home, I opened the suitcase and found this lovely little bundle of stuff.
And this, we think, is a picture of the man?
I think it is. There's his identity card. So his name is Joseph Henry Bebb. From what I've had a look of, he was an ambulance driver. There's 2 little notebooks full of names and addresses and hospitals. And there's quite a few...
Ooh.
I'd say they're lottery tickets.
One lottery ticket does not a gambler make, but if there's more than one...
There is some meat ration cards.
Here's a family coming out.
I believe it to be a family.
Awesome. This is going to make my job so much easier. There is something else that's got to jumping out at me. This...
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that he was a member of the Buffs, as they like to call themselves. They seemed like a pretty interesting bunch of guys. They were founded in England in 1822. I kind of get the feeling that they were really just having a gentle poke at the Freemasons. There's nothing royal about them.
Yeah.
They're definitely not antediluvian because they don't predate history. And the reason they're called the Buffaloes is because there was a popular song at the time about buffaloes. One of the things that they did is they did a lot of good for the community. They did a lot of charitable acts, a lot of philanthropic acts, and he was probably quite active in the community.
That's a pretty awesome piece of history to piece together that. So what else we've got in here is a lot of photographs and negatives. Some from what appears to be outback Australia or the beach. Looks like a property. That looks like lamb's wool baled up.
Ooh.
So it's like a little time capsule almost of him and his life. It's obviously something very personal to someone and their family, but what do you do next?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes these objects almost come with an obligation.
Very true.
We've got to try and take these things back. For me, that's the obligation. Somewhere out there, I'm sure someone has built a family tree and Joseph is hanging off one of those branches. All we need to do is climb up the right tree and we'll find a home.
It's very cool. Very cool indeed.
Well, Kimberly's just giving me a bunch of homework to do. And you know what? I can't wait to get started to tell a little bit more of the story of Joseph Bebb.
Hey Brad, what news have you got for me?
Well, somebody cares about Joseph. And in fact, I found something that is so awesome, I want to come and show you in person. So what I'm going to show you first is I found him in a family tree. So, and there he is.
He is there. Well, that's a bit of a shame. So obviously he's passed away.
Yes. But look, this is the great thing about a family tree. Suddenly, we don't just get information about him, we get information about his parents, and we get information about his siblings. Look at all the brothers and sisters
Oh my goodness.
that he had. He was the youngest of 11 children. He was actually a ward of the state. We know he served in the military, so there's a little bit of a record of that. I want to show you something else that I found. Somebody else who had done work on Joseph, up on their family tree, they'd posted something.
I feel this is your big reveal.
This is my big reveal. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Right? Someone has written the life story of Joseph Henry Bebb. And here it is, all 90 odd pages of it, of this man's life. But it's through a combination of this and the family tree that we've been able to find someone to talk to.
Okay. It's just a very strange situation. Like, we're these two strangers that are gonna turn up at this stranger's house with a parcel of things that this woman doesn't know that we're bringing back to her to have a conversation about her dad.
I have to admit, I'm a bit nervous and just a bit excited.
I first got the call, I thought this is somebody trying to sell me timeshare.
It's got to be weird, right?
It was weird.
He was a hoarder. We couldn't believe he'd leave anything behind.
Yes, yeah. Where did he leave something? He was the hoarder of the highest order. I remember when we cleaned out his shed, we had to we got these guns, and I thought, God, what am I going to do with these? And I know, I'll take them to the police station. I got to the police station, I thought, I better not walk into the police station with 2 guns.
Would you like to see what I found?
Yes, I would very much like to see what you found.
So inside a suitcase, I found this.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
There's piles and piles of photographs and negatives and...
Yeah, you're talking Joe now.
Ah, I know who that is. That is my grandfather. That is well, supposedly my father's father.
Joe was 5 or 6 when his father died in Palestine and his mother abandoned him.
He grew up with no real family to speak of, you know, just kind people to help him through life. And, you know, he was a real survivor. He had to struggle through his life.
Maybe that's why he kept so much, because he started out with so little.
There's a few lotto tickets.
Oh, wow, look at that. Do you know my parents paid off the house because my mother did the find the ball and won it?
That's interesting, because the story we uncovered was that your father won the lottery.
He did win as well. Yeah.
The story we heard was that he split that. It's worth about $500,000 in today's money.
Really? Okay, well, I think at this point I might go and get something I've got to show you.
I was not expecting any surprises. I felt like I was the one doing the surprising.
What's it going to be?
I don't know.
This was my father's ambulance bag.
Oh my goodness. It's a timber box.
I can just imagine how out of date this stuff is.
I imagine some of that stuff is highly illegal.
Probably.
So sterile umbilical cotton tape in a glass double-ended test tube. Do you want to dig? I'm just taking...
This is so Kimberly. If there was a ball of twine in there, she'd pass out.
Probably.
When he was younger, he was a shearer and he worked on stations before he went to the war. His life in the ambulance was what he loved. And you're going to give me this, are you?
Yeah, this is yours. This was never mine. I guess how I viewed it was that I was the custodian of it.
Well, thank heavens for people like you.
You're welcome.
And Brad.
This was lost, and now it's found again. And, you know, that makes the world a little better place for me.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's really wonderful to see all this stuff. And thank you for finding us.
That was a bit fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It's her adventure now.